Hello friends and welcome to YouTube channel Freedom Tech, and in this session what we are going to learn. In this session we are going to detect vehicles with the help of YOLO5. Then we are going to count vehicles. Okay, so before we move to our practical, friends, if you learn something from our videos, please consider to subscribe our channel. Okay friends, thank you so much, and let's get started. So friends, as I mentioned, we are going to first detect the vehicles with the help of YOLO5, and then we are going to count vehicles. Okay, so for that, first you need to install latest opencv version on Raspberry OS Bullseye 64-bit. okay, so as you can see, this is what our Raspberry OS Bullseye 64-bit version. If I run the command uname -a arc64, okay, so this is 64-bit version Raspberry OS Bullseye. So as I mentioned, you need to install opencv, then YOLO5. So I have already created the videos how to install opencv and YOLO5 on Raspberry OS Bullseye 64-bit version. I will mention video link, watch video and install opencv and YOLO5. Then we are going to use here a TF Lite model for YOLO5. So for that we need here a TensorFlow main version, not TensorFlow Lite, a TensorFlow main version. Okay, so I have already installed opencv and YOLO5. Now we are going to install a TensorFlow main version. So run the command like this way: sudo space pip3 space install TensorFlow, and just hit enter. So it will install TensorFlow main version on Raspberry OS Bullseye 64-bit version. I have already installed a TensorFlow. Okay, as you can see, that's why it says requirement is already satisfied. So simply we have done with opencv installation and YOLO5 installation, and now we have installed our TensorFlow main version, not TensorFlow Lite. Okay, that's it. Now for today's session, I have created here a repository, and the repository name is YOLO5 vehicle count, and inside that I have shared our main.py. This is what our basic code. Okay, we are going to write a full code. Okay, inside that we have simple basic code, then vid.txt. This txt file is basically for downloading a video. So inside that file we have video link, and this is our model. Okay, with TF Lite. Okay, I have converted the main model, okay, with TF Lite. Okay, so we are going to simply clone repository. So I will mention the link. You need to simply copy paste link inside the browser, then go to the code, copy link from here, and of course we are going to clone repository. So open terminal and run the command git space clone, and just paste the link of our repository, and then just hit enter. It will clone our repository. Okay, so friends, we clone our repository. Now what we want to do, we want to run the command cd and our repository name, which is YOLO5 vehicle count, and just hit enter. Now we are inside our repository. If I run ls command, as you can see, this is what our content. So we want to simply move our model inside our YOLO5 folder. Okay, so for that we need to run the command like this way: sudo space mv, then our model name, which is YOLO5, and just press tab button. It will auto complete our model name, YOLO5 -int8 tf-lite. Okay, so sudo space mv and our model name space model name, then again space, and then where we want to move our model, we need to mention the path of our folder where we want to move. So we are going to move our model inside /usr, okay, then local, then lib, okay, then python 3.9. as you can see, /usr /local lib python 3.9, and inside that we have dist packages folder, and inside that we have our YOLO5 folder, YOLO5. Okay, so this is the command: sudo space mv space our model name, okay, our model name YOLO5, then space where we want to move our file. So we are going to move our model inside our YOLO5 folder. So this is what the path for YOLO5 folder: space /usr /local /lib python 3.9, then /dist packages, then /YOLO5, and just hit enter. Now we successfully move our model inside our YOLO5 folder. So if I run ls command, as you can see, there is no model, because we move our model file inside our main folder, the YOLO5 folder. This is the path. Simple. Now what we want to do, we need here our video. So simply we are going to open the vid.txt file. So just open file manager, and this is what our repository, and this is what our vid.txt. Open with text editor, This is the link, just copy it and just paste here and just hit enter. And friends, as you can see, this is what our video file which we are going to use for counting our cars. Okay, so simply click on download and it will download our video file. As you can see, it started downloading. Okay, so friends, as you can see, we have downloaded our video file. Okay, you can use your video also. Okay, if you don't want to use this video, you can use your video. Okay, simple. So we have successfully downloaded our video. Now simply what we want to do, I am going to close the link and then we are going to simply open our video file. Okay, so we have our video file inside downloads. So downloads, as you can see, this is what our video file. So we need to move this video file inside our repository which we clone. So just cut the video file, go to the home, and this is what our folder, this is what our repository which we clone, YOLO5 vehicle count, and here we are going to simply paste our video file. Okay, that's it. Now we are going to simply open our main.py with Thony Python IDE. Okay, so inside that I have already shared the code, the basic code. Okay, so as you can see, I have import numpy as mp, then import torch, okay, then import cv2, okay, then cap is equal to cv2.video capture, and this is what our video file name, tvid.mp4. inside the same repository, YOLO5 vehicle count. Okay, so tvid.mp4, this is what our video file. Then this is what the path where we move our model. Okay, the YOLO5-int8 tf-lite model. So we move our model inside /usr local lib python 3.9 dist packages YOLO5, and this is the model. So this is the path for our model. Then model is just a variable, so model is equal to torque.hub.load. Then this is the path where we have our YOLO5 folder. So our YOLO5 folder is basically inside /usr local lib python 3.9 dist packages and YOLO5. Okay, then we are going to use a custom model. So for that we need to mention custom and then path. Okay, path is basically our model path. This is the variable path, so we need to mention the path variable here. Okay, because this path is represent our model, our custom model in tf-lite format. Okay, then source is equal to local, because we are going to use the local folder for YOLO5 folder. Okay, for that we need to mention source is equal to local. Simple. So this is the basic code. Then we are going to detect here from traffic, we are going to detect only car. So for that we need to mention a particular class which we want to detect here. So b is just a variable, b is equal to model.names and the class name. So if I open, again I need to go inside file system root, then usr, then local, then lib python 3.9, then dist packages, and we are going to open our YOLO5 folder, YOLO5, and then go to the data and then coco.yaml. this is what our class file. So text editor, it will open our file, and as I mentioned, we are going to detect only car. So car class number is 2. As you can see, if you want to detect the motorcycle, so motorcycle class is 3. If you want to detect the person class is 0. So in this session we are going to count only car from traffic. Okay, so car is the class and the class ID is basically 2. So if I open Thony editor, here it is. As you can see, I have mentioned 2. 2 is basically class ID for particular class name. So car is the class name and the ID is 2. So b is equal to model.names 2 and is equal to car. Simple. Then the tf-lite model, which basically use a size. So size is basically 416. So we need to mention the size, otherwise the tf-lite model with YOLO5 not work. Okay, so we need to mention the size. So size is basically 416 for tf-lite version. So for that I have mentioned size is equal to 416. Okay, then count is equal to 0. The count is equal to 0 is basically the counter, which basically we are going to use for skipping some frames. So for that we need to mention here count is equal to first 0. Okay, then all other things we are going to see step by step. So count is equal to 0, then while loop, then read imgcap.read. This is how we always read our video file. then count plus is equal to 1. So this count plus is equal to 1, as I mentioned, we are going to simply skip some frames. Okay, so for that, count plus is equal to 1, and how many frames we are going to skip? So we are going to basically skip here 4 frames. So this count, as you can see, I have mentioned here count is equal to 0. Then it will increase the counter. Okay, then it will skip 4 frames and then it will continue. Then CV2 resize method, we are going to resize our frame. So 600 is the width and 500 is the height. Then inshow method, then CV2.wait key, then break, and then cap.release, and CV2.destroy all windows. So this is our basic code. Okay, so simply if I run the code, it will start our video file. Okay, and here it is, as you can see, because as I mentioned, we are going to use a local path, so that's why it said requirements.txt not found. So this is not error. Okay, don't worry, this is not error. And as you can see, adding auto shape, and we successfully run our video file. So as I mentioned, this is what our traffic, and from this traffic we are going to count only cars. Okay, we are going to detect the cars with the help of yolov5, and then we are going to count how many cars we have in our frame. Simple. So we have successfully run our video file. Now what we want to do, we have our model. This is the model variable which basically represent our TF-Lite model and our yolov5 folder. So now what we want to do, we are going to simply start with calling our model variable. Okay, so where we resize our frame here, as you can see, cv2.resize. After that, we are going to mention a new variable, results. Results is equal to our model variable. Okay, our model variable. Okay, so we need to call our model variable, and inside that we need to pass 2 objects. First one is our img, and then another one is a size. Okay, size is basically 416. As I mentioned, because we are going to use a TF-Lite version, so we need to mention size is equal to 416. Okay, so here where we mention our results is equal to model, then img, then second object is basically size. That's it. Now we have our results, and this results, it's basically represent our model. Okay, so then what we are going to do, we are going to use here a pandas function for extracting the information from our result. Okay, so let's say a is just a variable, a is equal to results. Okay, a is equal to our results variable, then results dot pandas. Okay, then xy, we need a first value, so 0. Okay, so then this is how we will get the table information, means this is how we will get our object information in table format, because we use a pandas. So simply if we print a, then we will get a better idea. If we print a, and then what we are going to do, we are going to simply change the wait key, because we want to first freeze our frame. Okay, so for that we need to change the wait key. This is for our knowing purpose. Okay, so if I start the code, it will detect cars from only first frame, because we mentioned here 0, so it will only open the first frame and it will detect the objects from that first frame. It will detect only cars, because we mentioned here what we want to detect, we want to only detect the car, object 2. Okay, as you can see here, this is what our frame, and inside the shell, as you can see, we have a result. This is the name. It's detected the car. Okay, as you can see, it's detected only car, because we mentioned we only want a car. And this is the class number, class ID, as you can see, 222. This is the confidence level. This is the y max, this is the x max coordinates, this is the y min coordinate, and this is the x min coordinates. So now what we are going to do, we need here these coordinates, because we use a pandas function, so it create information in table format. As you can see, this is the table, this is the index number, this is the x minimum value, y min value, x max value, y max value, and the confidence level of detection. This is the class ID, and this is the name of objects which we detect from our first frame. Simple. So then what we are going to do, we are going to use a for loop. We are going to mention for index, then row, for index row in same method. So result.pandas, just copy it from here, copy and just paste it, control V. Okay, so dot it rows, okay, like this way, dot it rows. Okay, then okay, so for index row in result.pandas xyx0 iter rows, this is the method, and then simply we are going to print row. Okay, if I save the code, if I run the code, so friends, as you can see, we started our first frame, and inside shell we have result. Okay, as you can see, we have result, name, then object, confidence, x values, then class, okay, and the name of our object, car, class id, confidence, then y max, x max. So we have our information. Now we are going to simply use this information. Okay, so simply what we are going to do, again just stop the code, and now we know what we have inside our row. So simply we need here a values for drawing rectangle. So rectangle is basically what? Rectangle is basically our x min, y min, x max and y max. Okay, so we are going to use like this way, x1 is equal to int from row, okay, this row. So x1 is equal to int row, okay, and then we are going to use x min, okay, which we have inside our shell. As you can see, this is what result. So we need x min and their value, y min their value, x max their value, y max their value. Okay, so x min I have mentioned what we want here. From row we want x min, so we need to mention x min. Then same way y1 is equal to, just copy it and just paste, and here we are going to mention y min. Okay, then x2 is equal to, again copy it, just paste, and then here we are going to mention x max. Okay, as you can see, if I make like this way, x max and y max. So we need to mention first x max, so here we are going to mention x2 is basically our x max. Okay, and then what we are going to do, we are going to mention a y max. So just copy it, copy and just paste. Okay, and now this x2 will become y2 and x max will become y max. Okay, so just save it. Now what we want to do, we are going to simply draw the rectangle with this coordinate. So let's say cv2 dot rectangle. Okay, cv2 dot rectangle, and we are going to pass our img. Okay, img, then we are going to mention x1, y1, and then we are going to mention x2 and y2. Okay, and then we are going to mention color. So let's say red. Okay, and then we are going to mention thickness. Okay, so 2. Okay, so if I save the code, if I run the code, so friends, as you can see, we have successfully draw a rectangle on our frame. Okay, on our car basically. Okay, if I press any key from keyboard, it will start our frame. Okay, so we have successfully draw a rectangle. Now what we want to do, we only want to draw a rectangle when we have car objects. So simply we need to mention here a class. So we need here another row. So if I go like this way, as you can see, we need here a class row. So simply what we are going to do, again we are going to create another variable. So here let's say d is equal to row, and from this row we are going to use a class variable. This class variable is basically our id, so we are going to mention class. Okay, class, simple. Now inside that class, what is the id for car? 2 is the id for car. So simply we are going to mention if the d is equal to 2, then only draw a rectangle. Okay, so if d is equal to 2 means our car id, then we can say draw a rectangle. So this will become here. Okay, that's it. Now it will draw a rectangle only car. Okay, so if I save the code, if I run the code, so friends, as you can see, we successfully draw a rectangle only on our car. Okay, now we need a center point of our rectangles. Simple. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the x1, y1, x2, y2 values. So x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Then we will get rect x1 and rect y1. Okay, so just create two variable, rect x1 and rect y1. Okay, rect x1 and rect y1 is equal to, like this way, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, so we use these values, so x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, simple. So now we have our rect x1 and rect y1, so we can simply say rect center. Okay, rect center is equal to int, and then inside that we need to pass rect x1. Okay, rect x1, and again int rect y1. Simple. Okay, rect x1 and rect y1. Okay, now what we want to do, we need here, first what we are going to do, we are going to print rect center. Okay, rect center, then we will get the idea. Okay, so if I save the code, if I start the code, as you can see friends, inside shell we have two values. So this is the x and this one is the y. So 0 and 1, this is the index number. Okay, so simply what we are going to do here, we know now what we have inside our rect center, so we can simply say cx is equal to our rect center, and from rect center our first value, so index is 0, is basically now cx, and cy is equal to same way rect center 1, which is our cy value. Now we have our two values, cx and cy, so we can simply draw the circle. Okay, so cv2 dot circle method, and inside that we need to pass img, because we want to draw our circle inside our image. Okay, so img, then we can say cx and cy, then the radius value, let's say 3, then the color we can say we need here green color, so green color 02550, and because we want to fill the circle, so we can mention -1. Simple. So if I save the code, if I run the code, now we have a center point inside each rectangle. Okay, so friends, as you can see, we have a green center point for each rectangle. Okay, as you can see, each rectangle we have green center point. Okay, now simple, we have our center point. Now what we want to do, we want to mention a class name, our class name on our rectangle. Our class name is car. Okay, so simply what we are going to do, we are going to use here a put text method, and our class name is basically our b. This b is our class name. Okay, so we need to mention strb, string b. Okay, then it will put a car as a text on our rectangle. Okay, so simply we can say here cv2 dot put text, and where we want to put the text, we want to put the text on our img, then we need to pass str, string, and b variable. Okay, this b variable is basically our label name, or we can say class name. Okay, so b strb, then what we want here, we want to, where we want to put the text, we want to put the text on our rectangle, so we need here rectangle x1 and y1. So we can say here, we are going to say like this way, x1 and y1. Okay, x1 and y1. Then what we want to do here, we want to simply mention font. Okay, so cv2.font, cv2.font, and we are going to use hash plain. Okay, hash plain, this is what our font format. Okay, then 2, and then the color, so we are going to make a white color. Okay, and then a thickness. Simple. So if I save the code, if I run the code, so friends, as you can see, now we have our class name, or we can say object name, on our rectangle. Simple. So now what we are going to do, we are going to simply change this 0 with 1. Now it will start our frame in loop. Okay, and friends, as you can see, we have started our frame, and as you can see, the car is moving, and we have a rectangle and their class name on our rectangle. Simple. So now what we are going to do, we successfully detect our object. Now next thing, we want to count our object. Okay, or we can say we want to count our traffic. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do, again I am going to mention here a 0 wait key. If I start the code again, so friends, now as I mentioned, we want to count our vehicles. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to draw here a line on road, and then when our center point of our rectangle touch the line, we can say we have one car, or we can say there we have a count. Okay, so simply what we want to do, first we want to draw a line. Okay, so we need here a line. So here, as you can see, when I move a cursor inside the frame, these xy values are changed. So we can use simple these xy values. Okay, so if I go here, suppose if I want to start the line from here, so this xy coordinate is, as you can see, 79 and 305. Okay, so simply we are going to mention, we need here x value. So x is basically 79. So let's say, just stop the code, and here where we want to draw a line, we want to draw the line after where we resize our frame. So here we can say cv2 dot line, and then 79 is first coordinate. Okay, and then what we want to do, our width of the frame, so our total width of the frame is 600. Okay, so we need here a middle value. Okay, so 600. So we can say here, as you can see, I have mentioned here cy1 is basically 250. So this is our second coordinates for drawing line. Okay, so this is the first coordinate, cv2 dot line, this is the first coordinate. Okay, from our frame 79, then a second value is basically our cy1. Okay, which we mentioned here, cy1 250. Okay, then what we want to do, a next value. Okay, this is the end point of our line. So end point is basically 600, where our frame is end 600. So we can say 599. Okay, and then again cy1, this cy1. Okay, this is the cy1 250. Okay, now cv2 dot line, it will draw a line inside our frames. So now we need to mention a color. So let's say red color. So 0 0 255, and then the thickness, so let's make it 2. Okay, so I need to mention here img, because where we want to draw a line, we want to draw a line on our image, and then like this way. Okay, so cv2 dot line img, 79 is basically first coordinate of our first point where we start our line. Okay, so 79, then second coordinate which we use from this cy1 250, cy1, then 599 is where we end our line. So end line is basically our frame width. Okay, so 600 is the end point. So 599 and the CY1. Okay, CY1 250. So if I save the code, if I run the code, friends, as you can see, now we have our line on road. Okay, this is the start point 79. Okay, and then this is the end point 599. Okay, simple. So we successfully draw a line. Now what we want to do, we can say if this center point touch the line, we have count. Okay, so simply for that, what we want to do, we want to set here offset value. So offset is equal to 6. Okay, so offset is equal to 6. Okay, now we are going to use the offset value and CY1 value. Okay, so simply, so where we put our text, after that we can say if our center point CY, our center point CY, if CY is less than our CY1, our CY1, okay, so if CY is less than CY1 plus our offset, so our offset value is basically 6, so we can mention offset. Okay, and CY, again CY is greater than CY1 minus offset. Okay, like this one. Then we can simply increase a counter. So for that we mention here counter is equal to 0. Then this condition will be matched. We can increase our counter. So counter plus is equal to 1. And then when the vehicle touch the line, we want to change the line color. So simply we can say here, where is our line? This is what our line, where we draw our line. So here the line color is red. When vehicle touch the line color will be changed. So we can say it's become a green. Okay, it's become a green. Okay, so if I save the code, and now what we are going to do, we are going to simply make here 0 with 1. Okay, if I save the code, if I run the code, so friends, as you can see, frame is started and the center point of our rectangle, when it touch, the line is changed, line color is changed. Right now it's red. Okay, as you can see, it's become a green. When the center point touch to the line color is changed, it's become a green. As you can see here, it's become a green. So now we successfully create a counter. So simply we can say here print counter. Simple. So if I save the code and if I run the code, so friends, as you can see, frame is started when touch the line center point, and here it is inside the shell we have 1. It means it's counted 1 car. Okay, now our second car will touch the line. As you can see, is the second. We have 2 cars, we count 2 cars. Okay, now it will touch the third car, then the counter increase. As you can see, it's third one car. Okay, simple. So we successfully create a car counter. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to simply put our counter on our frame. Okay, so simply what we are going to do here, again we are going to use a cv2.putText method and just copy, and this time we are going to mention our text, our counter. Okay, our counter at the bottom of our rectangle. So we need here x2 and y2. So here we are going to change x1 with x2 and y1 with y2. This is the bottom coordinates for our rectangle. Okay, and then this strb will become basically our counter. Simple. If I save the code, if I run the code, and the color will be white. Okay, friends, we have started our frame, and when touch the line, As you can see, there is one. Okay, but what we are going to do, we are going to change the color. So let's say blue, because white is not perfect. Okay, so let's say blue. If I save the code, if I run the code, so friends, we have started our frame, and at the bottom, as you can see, touch line and 1. As you can see, there is a counter. This is the first car, okay, which we count. Now here you will see a 2. As you can see, this is a second car. Okay, so because we are working on our CPU, that's why it's slow. Also, I am recording at the same time. As you can see, it's 3. Okay, so now we will count a 4th car. And as you can see, 4th. Okay, so this is how we successfully count a car, or we can say first we track our object, then we count our car with the help of YOLO5. Okay, I hope you will learn something from this video. We'll meet our next video. Till then, thank you, take care, and bye bye.